can God love everyone, and what does this mean? Today, I'll be answering that question. So, we often hear it said in church or religion class or from our parents that God loves everyone. But doesn't everyone seem a little extreme? What about people who did very bad things? Does God still love them? To most of us, loving someone who did cruel things seems implausible. But God has a special kind of love for us. God has unconditional love for each and every one of us. I bet you're wondering what unconditional love is. Unconditional love means God loves us no matter what we look like, what we do, and what we say. However, even though He loves us no matter what, that doesn't mean our actions don't come with consequences and disappointment. God can still love us, but give us consequences to teach us and help us become better people. God can still love us, but be disappointed in us when we don't follow His word. This may seem confusing and impossible. You might wonder what this love looks like in action. And luckily, Jesus paints a perfect picture of God's unconditional love in one of His parables. The parable starts with one older son, one younger son, and a father. One day, the oldest son asks for his inheritance in advance and leaves. He eventually wastes all his money and begins struggling, and things are not going well for him. He is very ashamed, but decides to return home. Even though the father was upset and disappointed with his oldest son's behavior, he welcomes him home with open arms and celebrates him. The youngest son, who had obeyed his father his entire life, doesn't understand and is upset. The father showed unconditional love to his older son. In this parable, God is the father and we are the oldest son. Even though we make mistakes, He loves us no matter what and welcomes us with open arms. Therefore, God loves everyone unconditionally, no matter what they do. It is something we can take hope in, that no mistake is not redeemable, and it is never too late to turn back to Christ. In fact, God's unconditional love for us runs so deep that even while we're sinning, He sent His one and only Son down to earth to be crucified for our sake. That takes a lot of love. Next time you're feeling down and worthless, or that you've made too big of a mistake, remember God loves us no matter what and will welcome you back into His arms.
How can God love everyone, and what does that mean? God loves everyone because it is loving and powerful. This means that God's love is not limited, but everyone is loved equally. Just like in one big family, y'all are all loved equally. No matter what you do or anything you do wrong, y'all all loved equally, because God gives us our own will, and even if we decide to do bad things with those, we still are able to do the right things, and God still loves us equally.